Chip, are you ready for the ethical underground?
What if I said no?
You say no, it explodes.
Well, yeah, I am ready. Yeah. What if I say yes? What does that happen then? Cha-cha!
That's right. It's the ethical underground, everybody. Is MAGA stupid?
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. MAGA might just be stupid. Here we go. I kind of like it right in the middle like this.
You mean the video?
Yeah, only people watching on horizontal know what we're talking about. That way there's horizontal and vertical.
Yeah, the people watching on horizontal, it looks like a bug a little bit, but then it's not a bug. It's like a feature. You get to see us also.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perk. Put on your thinking caps.
Thinking caps, not okay. Thinking caps. Shit, where's my thinking cap? I know I put it somewhere, but I don't know where it is. You think we can do the show without my thinking cap on?
No.
Ah, shit. I'm gonna be MAGA then.
Wubba lubba dubba. You're gonna be MAGA. You're gonna be MAGA for this episode. No.
Yeah. I mean, my thinking cap is off. Therefore, I automatically become MAGA. Oh, now I understand why people like Trump. Oh, I see it now.
I took my thinking cap off. That's right. You took your thinking cap off, and that's how it works.
Yep. I
the
get
premise.
It.
Woo! All right, here we go.
Whenever I shake my hand, my muscles go.
Because your muscles are too big. Your muscles are too big, Chip. You're
and somehow not big enough.
That's because you have dysmorphia of some kind.
I probably do.
I look so little and wimpy. Sky's got good coffee today. Actually, I don't, but it's I'm trying. I bought the cheapest coffee I could find in a whole bean. It's okay. It's okay. Chip, welcome back to the show, Ethical Underground, Chip and Sky. I hope that you all followed that Chip guy. He's in Amsterdam. My man in Amsterdam. Damn, you want a coffee too? Ben from Berlin. It is good. I've got so much going on. We're going to talk about personal stuff more.
My boo from Inglewood.
My man in Inglewood. That's it. Goes my man in Amsterdam. Jules, my man in Inglewood. Mm-hmm.
I just said my boo in Inglewood, so that it rhymes. But
yeah, that was in Pulp Fiction, right? Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, there was no boo. Anybody being called boo in Pulp Fiction, but yes.
No, there was a lot of N-words. A lot of people got called my N-word.
Yeah,
that happened a lot.
That did happen a lot. Yeah.
It was. I thought the N-word recently.
You thought it?
Yeah, I thought it. I don't normally think it, but I thought
what
it.
What do you mean you thought it? Like you just walked on the street and all of a sudden you're like the N-word comes in your mind?
No, I think about stuff and I'm.
Were you not wearing your thinking cap, Sky?
I was wearing my thinking cap and I was thinking about stuff, and I was like, I was remembering stuff, and I was thinking about how, how many people go on credit and they buy so much stuff and they're like, oh, well, all you people, like you're all poor, we're all overextended in America, no one has any money because everyone's buying stuff on credit and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but people are buying some real dumb stuff. And I wasn't thinking of this like as a white person, black person, racist thing, right?
But then all of a sudden you did.
No, it's just that growing up in California, if you knew somebody who had no money, doesn't matter what race they are, if they had no money and yet they would still put a credit card down to buy some rims or buy
Oh,
some
please don't reinforce the stereotype.
Actually, I'm thinking about a white guy who did this. He bought
Yeah.
some rims, and then
Even the white guy is pretty stereotypical, huh?
But here's what happened. So this guy was he was a guy I worked with, and he had bought like he had a new Altima, which for me as a teenager I thought that was a nice car. It's a pretty nice car, a Nissan Altima, and I was a little jealous because he wasn't that much older than me, and then he put rims on it, and then he got it like he had like nice fly stuff. He always had dressed well. It turns out that he was falsifying his worksheet, and he was stealing from the company, and they caught him.
Oh,
and
shit.
and they fired him, and I was really upset because he was my friend. And somebody caught him, and they snitched on him, and then the boss was fired. And it was like, yeah, but he wasn't like buying stuff for his kids or something. He didn't have any kids, but he wasn't like buying stuff to like pay for school. He was buying, and they all said it, N-word shit.
Ooh, that sucks.
Something that you don't need, but you're gonna put on credit.
Oh, that's such a racist. Like, that's a really, really racist. Like that's a slur that's used in a racist way. That's rarely you see a slur also used in a really racist way.
What? Slurs are always almost always racist. But look,
but slurs are racist in like in a specific context, right? They don't always also add racism to it, right? I feel like this was not just a slur, but also racism attached to it. A lot more racism than usual. Yeah.
I don't know, because it was like, first of all, it was said about a white person.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were calling a black person an N-word.
Yeah.
They were saying that this person, do you mind fixing your? I fixed my collar. I popped the collar earlier. Sorry. Do you mind? People are always concerned about my sartorial choices. Yes. Anyway, it was car speaker. Yes, he had bought car speakers. He had a great system, great rim.
Oh, I did that as a teenager. I remember that. That was cool.
But he was doing it with someone else's money. Like he was stealing, and he probably, I don't know. I can't remember how his credit was or whatever. But it was like, I don't know. It was a thing that I heard, and I remember everybody saying it. And so I was remembering how because right now in America and around the world, people are having to tighten their belts about some things, and having to make choices. And it's like, well, stop buying that type of stuff. What would you call that type of stuff?
Needless stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't really quite get it, right? You need something a little harder than that. Something that says, don't get bad credit buying stupid stuff. Be frivolous. Don't be a spendthrift. Don't be a don't be flamboyant with the cash when you ain't got it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I mean that just denotes like poor people aren't generally bad with money, isn't it?
So, yeah, so I think the term that you would normally use would be like ghetto shit, but there's a connotation there too. Ghetto shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's not just poor people doing it. This isn't just poor people doing it. Rich people do it all the time. They buy a G-Wagon when they ain't got money. But they got money, but they don't have G-Wagon money, so they overextend.
They buy Twitter.
Status symbol shit. They buy Twitter. Is that what you said? They buy, like, how many? I know well-to-do people that buy like Coach bags, and they can't afford $1,000 bag or a $5,000 bag, but they still go out and put it on the credit card, and they'll buy thousands of dollars worth of purse, or shoes, or
yeah, I know the type. I've seen those type of people who spend so much money on expensive stuff, especially brand stuff, like for some reason, as if brand stuff means something.
Or fast fashion. Man, my ex, she was like buying all sorts of crazy shit. I'm still finding shoes in boxes she never wore. And it's like, why are you doing that? Like, and then she always would complain about how she didn't have any money. I got to get a second job. I got to pay my bills. What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you have so many bills? Oh, because you're buying stupid shit.
Mm.
Like, stop buying consumer electronics you don't need. You know, twist. I spent 10K on my car stereo. Nice.
Jesus.
Yes. Let's be honest. It's a particular type of phenotype human. Usually, white people don't put 25-inch spinners on their cars. No, but white people buy
Yeah, they do.
just as dumb shit. Do you know how many white people I see with 1,000 stupid guns they'll never use? Or
I'm sorry, but a lot of white people put a lot, like maybe not spinners per se, because I don't think anybody puts spinners these days anymore. But they definitely spend a lot of money on the rims. Like I know a lot of white men insecure, a lot of insecure white men who think that having big rims,
big trucks, just
or
big
big trucks, all of a sudden makes them better.
Yeah, how many people like buy Ferraris and stuff? I mean, it's just there's all sorts of examples of this. I mean, I would just go straight to Pokemon cards. I mean, I have a friend who's now grading Pokemon cards, and it's crazy. People spend hundreds of dollars just getting their Pokemon cards graded and put into a little thing, and they can't even use them. It just ruins the hobby. We've talked about it before. I think it ruins the hobby. 2 years ago, stopped watching Vegan Gains content because you explained to me that he's a Nazi. Thanks for that. Kuka, well, you're welcome. He is a Nazi. Has it become more clear? Has it become more clear? He's fucking horrible. Yes.
I don't know. I feel like he's definitely saying some really weird I think he's sexist. I think that's pretty clear to me.
He's a misogynist who's engaged in a hierarchy and thinks that those who are undesirable should be murdered. He's also,
but I think it's coming from a place. I think he's coming from a place of a giant immaturity.
Well, that's great, because that's what we're going to talk about today. Is it immaturity? Yeah. Is it IQ? What is it, Chip? What is it that causes people to do this? Is it stupidity? Because here's the thing. I remember you and I were talking. We came up with this topic because you thought about low IQ, and the problem with calling,
so much recently.
Okay, so the reason why that's a problem, though, is that there's always very smart Nazis too. Like, there are always really smart Nazis in every Nazi movement. There's never just low IQ people. Like Himmler.
But the smart Nazis are the ones who are selfish, right?
That's what I think. I think Marco Rubio, for example, wants to be close to power, right? He wants to be, but they're always wrong. They always think if they hold on long enough, it's going to work out for them. And every time they're wrong. So how smart could they be?
They're extremely, they're immature for sure. Like there has to be a sense of emotional maturity that you lack when you're in that position.
Okay, but it's not just uneducated. They seem to also be falling. A lot of smart people also fall for it, and I guess they do it for their own interest. That's fair play, right? It's something though, not just stupidity, not just IQ. I think it's something much darker. I think it's something way darker, because a con requires both a mark, right? You need to be kind of able to be fooled, but the mark also wants to be fooled. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it can't just be that you're dumb. You have to have a cognitive vulnerability, but you also have to have a moral and ethical vulnerability as well. And I think that's why this works so well for this show, Chip, because I read a book a while back called The Big Con. And in it, they were like, aside from pickpocketing, which is also a confidence scheme, except for pickpocketing, every con requires the mark to be a little bit larcenous, to be a little bit like, oh yeah, I'm willing to cheat at this game. Because a lot of cons are like, hey man, I'm going to help you cheat at this game, and this other guy doesn't know, but the mark doesn't know that I know the dealer, you know, and I'm going to help him cheat. And he's like, oh yeah, I want to help. So and then you con him out of money.
I think that's when there's money involved, you can kind of understand why people will try to con or whatever. But I think I personally believe that a better example is the type of person who would cheat on a board game with friends. I think the person who is
right. You want to win.
Yeah, like the type of person, like there's a lot of people who are intelligent.
Yeah.
But they want to win these games so badly that they will cheat. And in doing so, they forget that these games aren't like they're so immature, or they have so low
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem or something, that they forget that these games are just for the sake of the challenge more than anything, right? Like you get challenged, you're with your friends, you have some type of fun there. Nobody, if you lose, will think less of you or something. But if you're
Yeah.
incentivized to cheat in those games, then you're like, what's going on there, buddy? You're with your friends. Why would you cheat? You get nothing, right? So I feel like that's kind of the type of person who would be the ones who are intelligent but also right wing, right? The ones who would
Mm.
cheat on the fucking board game with their
They're
friends.
clever, but they'll be. It's interesting. The thing is, though, if we say it's just IQ, it's like saying that educated people are good and poor workers aren't. And I'm not willing to say that,
Mm,
because
me
workers
neither.
can be ethical. The working class is ethical. The working class is being robbed every day, and but at the same time, they're being marginalized. They're being victimized. They're constantly feeling threatened. And the more threatened they feel, the more susceptible they become to the con man who comes in and says, I'm your salvation. So a lot of times it's just like,
I
you
also
know what I
feel
mean?
like gullibility, right? Gullibility is something important in everything we're talking nowadays, right? Is gullibility a measure of intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
To some extent, I think there is some correlation, right, between some form of intelligence and gullibility. But I
Yeah.
think it's also a measure of, because I believe you can be highly intelligent, but still like trust in people, right? And then you would be gullible essentially. So there, this thing called gullibility, which you may fall for lies or stuff like that, but how far you go, right? Like how far do you fall for lies? Because at some point you have to question those lies, and that's where intelligence kind of stops you.
But
So
that's where
I
I
feel
don't know
like
that.
they're
Hold on. But what can
interconnected.
overcome? But you can overcome intelligence with other things like loyalty or what's in it for me. A lot of times, it's not that you're dumb or that you're even gullible. Like authoritarianism doesn't require people to be gullible. Sometimes it needs a little bit of that to catch on, but what it really requires above all else is loyalty. That's what it really requires. That's why Donald Trump will fire anybody who even shows a shred of disloyalty. Will spend millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to get someone fired who has shown any crack in their loyalty. You know?
Yeah, loyalty is obviously something that makes, it's hard to say, when it comes down to you, because I was trying to go in a direction, but I'm like thinking, you know, it's not necessarily that a person who will try to be loyal to Donald Trump at this point.
Yeah,
Maybe in the past it is a thing, but the person who will be hired by Donald Trump, who will be
yeah,
loyal to Donald Trump, I would say that's maybe a sign of intelligence, actually, because you know that if you're not loyal, he's going to fire you, right? Like that's all he wants. He wants
yeah. But they
loyalty. It's a loyalty game. You don't even
right.
have to be good at your job. You just have to be loyal. That's all it
That's
is,
right. That's all it is.
right? So at the end of the day, when it comes to this position, loyalty is like, well, do I want this job or not? You already from the beginning can know, am I going to bite every bullet that this asshole's going to throw at
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Okay, yes, then I will be loyal. If not, then you're just going to stay there, get some money, and eventually leave, because the minute you're no longer loyal, he'll not only fire you, he'll shit on you also.
Yeah, right. He
He'll
cuts you loose and then he stomps on your throat. Right,
yeah.
exactly. And the thing is, like that gullibility part, though, I think you're right. But I think that for low IQ and gullible, I think it really is the grift requires resentment, right? The authoritarian grift requires you to be resentful already. And so there's a bunch of people, rightfully or not, there's a bunch of people in this country who felt resentful, like they've been forgotten. The American worker, especially the white American worker, feels forgotten, feels underrepresented, whether or not they're right. That's how they feel, and you have someone come in and exploit that, right? So,
Yeah.
and you have the same thing happening with Hitler, right? Hitler says, "Oh, you feel like you're downtrodden. Well, that's because the Jews did X, Y, Z. I'm going to make you feel German again." Saddam Hussein said the Sunni, who were the minority in Iraq, that he was going to be their representation, their salvation. He's going to make a deal with America to fight the Shia, which were mostly, which predominant, where majority in Iraq, but also the Shia Muslims were in Iran and made an enemy of them. So you see this over and over and over again, right? And you think that the people who are the loyal people think if they hold on long enough, they'll have as much power as, and it's all going to work out for them, and it never does, which I think is very poetic because they keep doing the same thing, Chip.
I've been thinking about this comparison with Hitler a lot recently, also, and I actually been meaning to say something to you that I I think that the reason why America cannot descend into complete fascism is because America has this big love affair with free speech, which is actually fucking good. I feel like the moment that Americans give up free speech, which is something that Europeans don't have, like no matter how much you want to spin it, in Europe, yes, you have free speech, but nobody's in love with free speech here, right? Like nobody's like
Yeah,
literally. I was telling somebody
here it's our religion. Yeah.
yeah, like I was telling somebody here that that the police in Berlin, I was with a friend and we were doing activism, and they stopped us and they're like, "You're not allowed to do this because we didn't put a thing in the municipality. We didn't ask for permission, essentially, right?" And the person was like, "Yeah, well, that makes sense. Then everyone could do whatever they want, right?" Like that's essentially how that person saw
In
it.
America, we're like, we get to do whatever we want. What are you talking
But
about?
in America, when I did activism in America with the Anonymous for the Voiceless, I asked them, "How was the permit position here? Like, was it hard to get a permit?" And the guy was like, "What do you mean permit? What the fuck do you need? You just go on the street and you speak up. That's what it is."
It's
like,
public.
holy shit, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so the free speech thing is one of those things that will save America a lot, right? But if that erodes,
if we can keep it.
Yeah, if we can keep it, because that is definitely, like, Trump is definitely eroding that by normalizing shutting people down, right? He refuses to speak to certain reporters. He calls them dumb. He refuses
calls them the enemy
to
of the
engage,
people.
calls them the enemy of the people, refuses to engage, say these should be shut down because they're saying something we don't like. Like, all of these things are eroding even this particular thing. But even with all that, I still think the majority of Americans have this free speech thing, and no matter how bad it will get, there will always be people like you can't shut off free speech in US, I think.
Well,
and
that
Sky,
the guns,
that's fucking
Chip,
beautiful.
that the guns, because
that
like
the guns, yeah.
I think there's a few things happening with why fascism. Well, I think the Constitution overall, the fact that Americans believe that this is our birthright and that we have rights, and we don't think that you should touch those rights. That's a pretty big deal. And it's not just the First Amendment, it's the first 10, the Bill of Rights, and all the others as well. I think there's 28 now, and they're all important. But those first 10, I think Americans see as their birthright. We don't like it when you mess with them. I mean, even now in liberal California, they're trying to do stuff with the guns, and the Supreme Court's like, no, you can't outlaw open carry, which is kind of a crazy thing. Open carry. Do you know what open carry is?
Yeah, it's like you're allowed to grab your guns and just walk with them, right?
Yeah, you can walk with, as long as everybody can see them, you can walk with it on your hip. Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. Yeah. I saw that in Arizona when I was there.
Yeah,
and I refused to enter the store because a guy had a gun on his
a patron or the shop owner.
No. A guy got out of his car and he had a gun strapped to his belt.
Yeah,
and I'm like, fuck that, I'm not going in.
That's what a pussy. Why not?
What a pussy. Fuck you, man. Yeah. He has a Sky. He has a magical Sky. He has a magical object that he can point at you, and all he has to do is do this minor action, which I can do, as you can see, 30 times in a second. He has to do it once.
He probably doesn't have 30 bullets. No,
doesn't matter. He just has to point it once at you and do this, and you're fucked. Literally, like, what the fuck do you mean? That's the most dangerous shit in the world. It's magic. It's essentially a magical object. I take this object, I point it at you, and I go click. You're done. It's like fucking magic. I understand it's not, but can you?
No. The reason why you're afraid of it is because you think it's magic. That's why.
No, you just normalize this shit. It's a fucking gun, small gun that comes out of it at 1,000. I don't even know the speed that the bullet travels to,
fast.
But it comes very fast at you, and it just decimates your internals, and your risk of dying is insane almost instantly. Of course, it's a fucking scary, and of course, it feels like magic because it's fucking. Oh God.
Okay, so first
don't
of all,
get me started on guns. I fucking hate them.
Have you ever shot one?
Of course, I shot guns. Yes,
Of course you have. You
they're
realize
fun, but they're stupidly dangerous.
they're not stupidly dangerous. They're just like no more dangerous than a garbage disposal or some other household appliance that could harm you. But like,
No, Sky, I'm sorry, but a garbage disposal, the machine that goes, zzz, which is by the way fucking brilliant. Why the fuck don't European countries have garbage disposal? I don't know for the lights of me.
I can tell you why. There's actually a good reason, but
that's a fucking brilliant thing. Garbage disposal ends dishwashing, dishwashers like automatic dishwashers. Something that Netherlands has dishwashers, so I'll give you that. But I wish every country in the world had everywhere dishwashers and garbage machines and dryers. What the fuck is up? Why is it that not everyone in the world has these, but
the fact that Europe doesn't? That when I went to Europe and they only had spin dry and you had to hang up your clothes in your apartment, I'm like, I got used to it. And I kind of started liking it, but it was weird. Like, why don't you guys have dryers?
You get used to it, but it's like, I guess because the places are small, but it's also like, it is actual technology. It's actually technology that makes your life better and easier.
All these technologies are dangerous. All of them. What makes
none of them are as dangerous?
Special?
Sky, I cannot take the dryer, point it at you easily, press a button on the dryer as easy as this, and then it fucking kills you instantly.
A car, you can do it. A car is much more likely to kill you.
A car, it's still more difficult to because you have like the gun. No, the gun I just pointed at you. I just have to move my hand like that's it.
Then you know also that it's a little hard to hit somebody, right? It's a little hard. Someone has to be good practice to hit somebody.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, they have to be pretty good shot.
Yeah, I mean, but also Sky, I'm sorry.
I still miss sometimes.
But it's also like not that bullet. Once it hits something, it stops. Oh, it can ricochet. I got fucking shot from a ricochet. What the actual fuck? Like, it's so dangerous to even be around it. It's not just dangerous to be, like, it's also dangerous for the person who holds it, Sky. Have you seen the videos of these people who go like, and then they hit themselves because of the recoil? Like, it's dangerous for the person holding it. It's dangerous for the person on the other side. And it's dangerous for the people around it. Like, what the fuck is this weapon? It's
an honest doubter. See, Chip is on your side, honest doubter. Only allow authorities to have guns. Only cops are allowed to have guns. Only the state is allowed to perpetrate violence.
Not with how it is in US. No, I'm sorry. In US, I get it why everyone wants to have guns because the fucking police are insane. The police officers are insane there. Like, I'm sorry, but if you just watch one of those things, one of the like, honestly, if a police officer stops me in the US, I'm like, here are my documents, here's my name, I am willing to cooperate in everything that you say, I am mean you no harm, I'm holding my hands up like here, mean you no harm, please don't arrest me.
I'm willing to comply.
Fuck me, Sky. These people, I bet you, even when I do this, they'll be like, he's resisting arrest. What the fuck? Who's resisting arrest? Yeah. I've seen people who weren't resisting arrest and they're like, stop resisting. I'm not resisting. You're just bending my arm in a way that's... Oh, no, it's just
they're trained to say that to trick the cameras, right? Stop resisting, stop resisting, stop. They'll keep saying that, right? But Chip, I know that in the Netherlands, the cops have guns. If you see a cop in a store, do you walk away because you're so afraid?
If I see so when I see in the airport, when I see the guys with the big guns, I definitely stay away from them. I walk a little bit outside. I don't trust people as much, and I don't trust that this person who, by the way, in the airport they walk with their pen on the trigger. Have you noticed that?
Not on the trigger, on the housing. They put their housing. They put it right next to it, like this.
Yeah, like
they don't put it in the hole.
Yeah, okay, fair, but why? Yeah. That's fucking that's scary. In a fucking airport where they already checked that you don't have any medals even up your ass. What the fuck?
So like when you have a gun, you generally want to keep control of it because of exactly the stuff you're talking about, Chip. So when they have a big gun, they want to have control over it close to the body so nobody else can take it from them. So they generally have it like
from them.
Okay. So that nobody can accidentally hit the trigger. Nothing weird can happen. It's because their responsibility. They know it kills people, so they try to keep it as close to possible. They can't. They're not going to carry it down here, right? Because someone can take it. So they kind of keep it ready. People do get blown out by big rig tires, as is said by Positrack. Are you afraid of big rigs? I guess I'm more afraid of big rigs than I am I'm more afraid of big rigs than I
sorry,
am
Sky,
guns.
just to be clear, I know you can get killed by a lot of things, but guns are
designed to kill
stupidly
people.
easy to kill people. Like with a gun, it's like literally
I'll give
just
you this. I don't want to
you
talk
don't even
about
have to
guns for the
point
whole.
it.
Look,
You
let's
give
take
it
this.
and that's it. You might kill
All
somebody.
right, on the next, we'll talk about this in the afterglow, the members only section, because we'll talk about guns the whole time. I will give you this though.
Hands up won't save you.
Hands up won't save you. You have an accent. You're lucky you're not black. If you were, I will give you this though. A gun was actually designed to kill people, and big rigs were not. Trucks were not.
There you go. And
right?
it's highly successful, the gun at it. So.
But they are also designed to be safe, and
yeah,
they're not that dangerous. So I'm going to. I'm glad that Trump is a fascist. Also disarm the populace. Chip is not saying that America. He thinks Americans should be armed, but he doesn't want to be around the guns. I think.
No. So if you ask me, I think nobody should have guns. Sorry, I think nobody should have guns.
Yeah,
I think like guns should be this one thing that you hold in a safe. That's it. You know how we have the nuclear weapons? That's how guns should be. Guns should be like under 5 people decide whether you shoot one gun, right? Like you're not just allowed, like even if it's a police officer, maybe you can have a gun with you, but you're not allowed to shoot it unless you have like 5 people.
You know how in the Netherlands you can go and have someone help you murder yourself. You can help assisted self-mord.
Yeah.
What they call it, Zelfmoord, right? Zelfmoord.
Assisted suicide. Yeah.
I'm sure in Dutch they call it Zelfmoord.
I actually don't know how they call it in Dutch, but yeah.
Anyway, in America, you're not allowed to do that. So 50% of the gun deaths in California, at least, which I don't know all the gun deaths in every state, but in California, we have 40 million people, and half the gun deaths are Selbstmord, self-inflicted.
So it's the Euthanasia Act, Termination of Life on Request, and Assisted Suicide Act. It's actually called.
Yeah, but what do they call it in Dutch? What is the Dutch word? Selbstmord. I'm almost positive, because that's what it is in German. I'm almost positive it's Selbstmord or Zeltmord.
Yeah, self-doting, because it's
self-doting.
Self-death. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. This is the Ethical Underground, not the Second Amendment, not the Second Amendment show, but back to the con framework. Classic con artist theory: the grift works because the mark wants what's being sold. Authoritarianism runs on the same engine, not stupidity, but vulnerability plus moral flaw. So that's the thing, man. It's like you have to have that moral flaw, and I think that that's much more dangerous than stupidity, right? The fact that we have so many people who have a willingness to outsource their moral judgment, right? They have.
But is it a choice, Kai? Is it a choice to be fooled by this person? Like, is it? I feel like surely intelligence makes it be a choice, right? Like,
we have to diagnose it if we're going to try to fix it, Chip. So, I mean, at the end of the day, how are we going to say what hate sells, right? Hate sells, but how can we keep it from selling? How
can we keep hate from being sold?
Yeah.
I think education, right? I think education goes a long way. It's just that some people are almost allergic to education. So
yeah. So if we have the cognitive availability, susceptibility to narrative over evidence, difficulty holding complexity or ambiguity, high need for closure, relief of a simple answer, and threat sensitivity. So hierarchy always feels safe because you know where you are on the hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
The relief for a simple answer is because people fear complexity because they don't have critical thinking. They don't want to access nuance or anything like that, right?
They want it simplified, yeah.
They want it simplified. A lot of people call that stupid, right? You have a simple mind. Difficulty holding complexity or ambiguity. I'm sure you see this every day with your, well, what about hunting though? What about when my uncle has, like, it's like they're unable to have any kind of complexity or ambiguity, and they're susceptible to narrative over evidence. And that, I think, is like your kind of your low IQ column, right? But but I think this is just as important, the moral flaw, pre-existing resentment, seeking permission, right? They want permission to be resented. to be resentful, and Donald
the
Trump gives that to
emotional
them.
immaturity. Yeah.
Yes, emotional maturity. Yeah, totally. Desire for dominance dressed as grievance. Does that sound
The
familiar?
desire for dominance also probably comes from some form of insecurity. So yeah.
Yes, and they'll disguise it as they're the victim, so they want to be dominant because they're victimized, but they're not a
Yeah.
victim. They're already dominant. They hate trans people, and they'll claim to be victimized by the trans person. So they've got a
Ugh.
grievance against the trans person, so they want to dominate that trans person. They got a
Of
grievance against
course.
the Muslims, so they want to dominate the Muslim. Well, only the Muslims with oil, but they want to dominate the Muslim. Willingness to outsource moral judgment. This is the fucking worst one. I think that this is like the most common. And this larcenous nature I was talking about, like they want what the con man is selling, right?
Sky, do you know how many people the willingness to outsource moral judgment? Do you know how many people I've spoken to recently who just said, everyone around me does it? And literally not just believed it, but they're like, when they change, I'll change too. I'll just do what everyone else does.
Well, what do they say when you say something about how there's when you say something about like when you start talking about killing dogs and stuff, what do they always say? Well, that's illegal.
Oh, no. They say it's illegal, but they even bite the bullet on that one. If everyone around me starts eating those, I'll eat them too.
Yeah.
I've even seen people say, okay, well, that's illegal, but the minute, how did they say, when they said that this whole thing about everyone else around me, I asked, okay, but are you just like a follower, or are you an NPC? There's people who are like, yeah, I just follow. There's people who say that, who just accept that. Like,
but isn't that the same thing that Trump is doing when that Trumpsters and MAGAs are always doing when they say, well, what about Biden though? Biden did it. And it's like,
the whataboutism, the appeal from fallacy from relative privation, isn't it? It's always the other individual that's the problem.
Well, that justifies it too. Like, well, I mean, the worst one, the one that I've been really kind of harping on this week was because Greg Gutfeld got on TV and he said, well, Africans sold slaves. And I hear that all the time. I find it pisses me off so much because
fuck.
What does that have to do with Americans selling? Does that make it okay for America to have slaves?
Did that person also actually say that?
People always say that, Chip, that people justify American slavery.
I've never heard that argument against slavery. No.
Oh my God, I've heard it a million. Can people back me up in the chat? You hear it all the time. A tu quoque. Yeah, it's a tu quoque. But like that's all the time,
right?
You hear this thing like, well, Africans sold slaves. What's the problem? It's not like Americans. It's not like white people went to Africa and took them. They were being sold them. It's like, yeah, there's some of that happening, but they also just stole people. They just conquered tribes and took them all. So this whole idea, well, they were African slavery existed. So what? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, it does nothing to do. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, all the time. It's true. Africans were sold by Africans. Yeah. So what? Yeah, I know that. Yeah. But they also, people weren't
still makes it immoral. Yeah.
It still makes it immoral, right? That means those some Africans were selling some Africans. So that justifies 400 years of slavery in America. That doesn't make any sense. That justifies people born into slavery in America. That doesn't make sense. It's a non sequitur. Every race has been enslaved. Oh, you see that too. Yes. Every race has been enslaved. Yeah. Yeah. That's something you see all the time. Every race has been enslaved. I see that in my chat. I see that in my comment section every day. So I was looking at different versions of what this like about the operator. So the two-tier structure, right? In order for fascism to work, you have to have like Kissinger and Rubio. I was thinking of Henry Kissinger and Marco Rubio. They're both in on it, right? They think that they stick it out, they'll have power. They're also running a sub-con inside the larger con, right? Kissinger is running a con to because he has access to grind with Laos and all this other stuff. But Rubio is running a sub-con. He's trying to get his own thing going. He's getting his own political career going. They all have their own little, and same with Kristi Noem. She had her own money con going.
Yeah.
And they see the strongman as a vehicle to get what they want. So a bunch of people, yes, they latch onto Hitler. They think that he's going places, so they'll ride the wave, right? They know that they can get something out of this, and they think that they can do it and then bail just in time, but they can't.
Yeah.
They bet that they're betting that they can ride and bail, but they never get off early enough. And so they're rational, but they're monstrous and usually wrong. And then you have the marks, like you have the Jan 6 mob, the beer hall crowd, and these guys are just suckers, right? They wanted what was being sold. They wanted that, like, kill Mike Pence. The people at January 6th, I think that they were suckers and marks, but they were like, they're victims, but they also wanted to kill Mike Pence. They also wanted to kill the vice president.
But I think that in their mind, they actually thought that the vice president was doing something wrong. Like, they don't see it as an insurrection, what they did, because they thought, no, we are taking back our country. That's what we're doing.
Well, they wanted to reassert their dominance too, which was the next thing, the fantasy of restored dominance. They want to be back in charge.
But they wanted to be back in charge, but I don't think that they wanted to be back in charge at the expense of ruining democracy. I don't think they were even considering that. I just think that they were in a position where they weren't intelligent enough to understand that they're ruining democracy by doing so. And that in doing so, even if they do get temporary dominance, they eventually end up in the same thing, right? The betting they can ride and bail, the same thing that the operators do.
Right. Yeah. They bet they can ride and bail. I guess you're right. There's some of that. But they also have all these grievances, and they want permission to hate whoever they want permission to hate trans people, hate gays, hate blacks, hate whomever, right? And that permission, I think, is incredibly important, because we keep seeing, I think this is why we see a rise in hate crimes, why we see a rise in racism and all the rest. Misogyny, all these misogyny podcasts.
So much misogyny nowadays. Holy fuck.
It's ridiculous. It's kind of crazy. Women,
I've even seen people who are like, I call them misogynists, and they're like, yeah, so, like, what? When why? When has misogyny become normalized? Why are we normalizing this shit?
They think it's normal, man. Because they watch all those podcasts. They watch the Tate brothers, moral fast
not
food.
Just Tate. What's that podcast? The
whatever
one that has whatever. Yeah, that one. Jesus Christ, that's a fucking horrible podcast.
Yeah. They want simple answers, clear enemies, and a sense of belonging. It's moral fast food. And I think that that's the most important part. Moral fast food. It's perfect for America. They want moral fast food. America loves fast food. We're crazy about it, Chip. We love it. We're insanely into it.
You want quick solutions for something, so you don't have to think too much or do too much work.
I think that's what happened in Nazi Germany too, right? They just started having a culture of fast service, and everything's fast and everything is good. Keep going faster and faster and faster. Everything's mechanized.
I think it's a little bit different. I'll be honest. I think the political climate of Nazi Germany was a little bit different, right? Germany was being humiliated by the whole losing the war. There were a lot of people who thought Germany can do better. Like, I think
they weren't, though. That's all
funded
propaganda.
By something else.
They were not humiliated. They felt humiliated because they lost, but Germany was the center of culture before World War II.
They did lose a lot of their rights after World War I, and they had to pay remunerations for everything. So it wasn't that they were humiliated, but they were severely punished. And right after World War II, they weren't as severely punished as before, because we realized what happens.
This is something I've heard for so long when in America, our Nazi system, because let's face it, I mean, our country has a fascist history, and we have been telling people that, like, oh, they were embarrassed, and the French were coming in and beating them up in the streets and stuff, and they wanted their money. It's like, what happened right before World War II? What happened between World War I and World War II, Chip, that was like kind of a big deal all over the world?
You mean the pandemic?
There was the
economical crisis.
Yeah, the Great Depression. Yeah, the Great Depression. Everyone was poor. They're like, and the Germans, they had to buy bread with a wheelbarrow of money. Yeah, fucking here too. We didn't go trying to murder all of our neighbors. Like,
not with that attitude.
But fascism caught on here too. Fascism was catching on all over the world because people felt humiliated. I think that's how we feel here. Is we feel humiliated. We were this big superpower, and now we're not.
I don't think US was humiliated. I think US was conned into thinking it as humiliated. That's a big difference, right? Whereas I think like Germany actually maybe was in a little bit of an awkward position and somebody took advantage of that. I don't think America was in an awkward position. I think, in fact, America was the strongest that it's ever been. I think that what America, before Trump was president,
yes,
what I think happened is that Trump took advantage and realized that you have to weaken the American people, weaken the trust in the American idea. And the more you weaken it, the more you have power. So that's what he's been doing for 4 years while he was president, for 4 years while he wasn't, and now continuing. He's just
but that's exactly what Hitler did. Hitler did the same thing. Hitler said, okay, well, you know, yes, we're the center of culture and everyone watches all our movies.
I think Trump is worse than Hitler. I think
so do I. I think if we let him go, hopefully he won't live as long. You know, he won't live that long.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be here until. But if Trump were 40 with this type of power, I think we'd have him for 40 years.
Oh, I think we'd be fucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God he's dying. Did you see that he fell asleep in a meeting or something and shit himself or something? That's just...
Well, the shitting himself memes are like crazy. People keep on putting those sounds in to make it sound like he's shitting and stuff. He's definitely sleeping on the job, and I had to fire a guy once for sleeping on the job because it was a graveyard shift and he just was asleep. But it's like I didn't think it was fair to fire him. It's like he's a bartender. He's sitting in a bar that doesn't have any people in it.
I mean, he's got prefrontal dementia or something, frontal cortex dementia. I forgot the name of it.
Trump. I mean, like, I don't know. This guy's falling asleep in meetings. It's like, come on, man.
Whatever. Let's move back to the. I guess my whole point was just that pedal. I guess my point was like, while Hitler was an absolute fucking horrific racist piece of shit person, racist xenophobe, he was all of those, and supremacist mindset, all that kind. I guess the way I learned my history, and maybe I'm wrong with that, right? There was a specific situation that Germany was in where it wasn't justified to treat people this way. Let's not put it that way, but where German people had at least some form of justification to feel down, whereas American people never had that justification in the world scene, because
on the world scene, it doesn't matter. Americans don't have passports, dude. What the fuck do you care what they don't care about how they're seen in the world. They care that my grandfather worked on this piece of land and now I can't afford to even live here and there are no jobs. That's how they feel. And now I can't afford to have money for my family. That's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed because I'm living in my mom's basement and I'm fucking poor. And my grandfather had nothing. And he was able to scrape together a living and raise a family and have a house.
I guess I just see that during that time, I guess my point was that during that time, there was at least something touchable that you could, that Hitler exploited and used it to gain power. Whereas I don't know if Trump had that or he created it himself, right?
No, I think
look, the division and all of this, I think it's mostly manufactured.
We have a lot of, I don't think it's manufactured. We have a lot of people here who have a grievance because the billionaires have all the money and they ain't got shit. What they got is debt. And the billionaires have all the money. And it's so difficult to keep going because these fucking billionaires got everything. Now, if you're a white guy living in Arkansas and you ain't got shit, you start looking around like, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Must be someone else's fault. And it kind of is.
So then I guess the American people's frustration was coming from not just a political system, but a governmental system that was essentially fucking them over because of the whole capitalistic side of it. It was just
capitalism screwed them, but you can't let them know that. The real con is the switcheroo, right? Oh yeah, you're right. I'm fucking you, but it's not me, buddy. It's not me. It's that black man over there. It's that trans person over there. It's that illegal.
If we only got rid of them.
If only we got rid of them, it'd be all right. That's how in World War II, Hitler literally said that we didn't lose World War One. That's what Hitler said, we did not lose World War One. The German folk fought valiantly. You were there. I was there. We were all in those trenches because Hitler was a soldier.
Yeah.
We were all there, and they told us to quit fighting. Who told us to quit fighting? The Jews. That was enough for most people because people saw that they weren't losing. They had a tie in France. The Maginot Line was a stalemate. And Germany didn't feel like they were losing. And then they come home and they ain't got shit. No jobs. Everything sucks. Spanish flu's killed your grandma. You know? There's a virus going around killing people. Everything sucks. Whose fault is it? It's the illegals' fault. Exactly.
It's the illegals' fault, yeah.
Exactly. And it's not the illegal, just like it wasn't the Jews' fault, it's not the illegals' fault. Just like it wasn't the blacks' fault or the gays' fault, it wasn't the blacks and gays' fault. Because the Germans blamed and they also blamed the Social Democrats. They hated the Social Democrats, which is, guess what? The same villains. Enemy of the people. They hate the Social Democrats. They always hate the Social Democrats for some reason. Obama did it. So anyway, I want to talk about philosophy really quick. On Western tradition, like so I was looking at how different philosophers would have addressed this. And of course, Aristotle, a person I love to hate, he thinks that phronesis is required for ethics. And this is just rational deliberation.
What does that
necessary. Mean? Rational deliberation, like being able to sit there and think about stuff. That is what's required for ethics. But that's bullshit because it's not cognitive capacity that gives you like that. Cognitive capacity is not a moral prerequisite. Because if it were, that means that anyone with a mental disability would be not only irrational but also immoral, and we know that that's not true. And but Aristotle thought it was. Aristotle thought that it was, and I think when we say that, we have to be careful when we say like MAGA is low IQ, because it's the same idea, right? You have to be educated and of higher cognitive capacity in order to be ethical. Because isn't that what we're really asking, right? Do you have to be smart to be ethical?
I don't think when we say MAGA is low IQ, we actually mean that they're all stupid. I think they behave stupidly. And I think that's one thing. And I think that calling somebody low IQ is more of an insult in today's age than anything. It's not like, it doesn't necessarily mean like I've seen people call each other low IQ, even though nobody presented signs of stupidity in that conversation. It's just an insult we hurl at each other because we've acknowledged that the best thing you can be nowadays, we know it's intelligence. We saw what intelligence gives you, right?
I don't know what it gives you. Is that what intelligence gives you? Fuck ton of money?
Is it not what the tech bros have shown? That being I don't think they savvy somehow gives you money?
Tech savvy, lucky, and rich. Yeah, they're rich, and then they get lucky and they get richer. I don't think they're smart.
But if you think about it, right? Like it was a time like during the 90s when if you were the geek in the class, you'd be like kind of ousted. But now I think the geeks are the cool ones. Now the geeks are the ones who are like,
nobody thinks those guys are cool.
Oh, I think that's kind of what's happening nowadays. At least that's what I saw in movies. I don't know what the Gen Z is doing these days.
I don't think anybody thinks that Elon Musk is cool, or that Peter Thiel is cool, or that Brian Johnson's cool, or that CZ is cool. I don't think, or that who's that weirdo who Vitalik?
I
don't think anyone thinks Vitalik is cool. Huh?
I wouldn't call any of those people tech bros though.
Really? Those are all tech bros. That's the broligarchy.
Okay.
Who are you talking about? Who are the tech bros? Zuckerberg? You think Zuckerberg's cool? He's a tech bro.
I mean, Zuckerberg is a tech bro, yeah. Is he cool? No, I don't think he's cool. Is he smart? He definitely is smart, though.
I don't think he's smart.
I think Zuckerberg is pretty smart, but I don't think he's...
He's smart like a villain. I don't think he's smart like... I don't think he's of higher cognitive capacity than anybody else. I think that he's a little bit of a weirdo who is probably autistic, honestly, who's able to concentrate on certain things. And he lost $80 billion into the metaverse. I mean, how smart is that? Yeah. Hey, good point.
I don't classify intelligence as the capacity to make money necessarily.
All right, we got to keep going. I'm talking about
Yeah, we
fucking
gotta keep going.
philosophy here.
Yeah, go on.
Kant also gets it wrong, I think, because Kant says that moral agency also requires reason, which is almost the same thing as Aristotle, but a little bit different,
Yeah.
right? But these will always, if you think like Aristotle or Kant, you are intentionally excluding huge portions of the population. And guess why? Because Kant and Aristotle were both kind of pro-slavery. Aristotle and Kant were very into upholding the status quo. Not so much, yeah, Kant too. Kant was just an old German fuck, but he had some ideas about. But anyway, the authoritarian loves Aristotle and Kant because of this, because of their position
Kant.
here.
I also stopped liking Kant since I learned that the Kant deontology only applies to moral agents. That's fucking stupid. Why?
And what
because
do you
of
need
this,
to be in moral
because
agent?
he requires reason, which I find it pretty fucking stupid. Okay,
that's right. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. So there's better traditions though in the Western canon. We have Hume, where morality is grounded in sentiment, so that empathy and fellow feeling is where your morality is grounded in your empathy. So that is not intellect. Clearly, that's something that we have that is, I think, better than intellect. We have the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. That's Hume. Gilligan is about care ethics, that our morality comes from our relationships, and our moral life lives in that relationship and not cognition, but in the way we have interactions with others, the way we're connected with others. And then also bell hooks, who love is a political and ethical practice, and it has nothing to do with IQ.
Is it safe to say that morality and intelligence actually have no direct correlation? Because it's the same as morality and legality, right? Like they intertwine. There's definitely a lot of there's a what do you call the I forgot.
There's a Venn diagram overlap.
The Venn diagram. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between the two, but it's not a given, right?
Like, why does that overlap happen, right? I think that's important to also recognize, right? Legality in the modern sense is oftentimes a way of a society to codify morality. Right?
Yeah, to some extent, because
oftentimes I say not. Yeah,
I don't think anybody will ever think anybody will say make it illegal to cheat on your partner. Yet everyone will agree that it is immoral to cheat on your partner.
What do you mean? There's all sorts of laws about cheating on your partner. We have that in the laws already. If you cheat on your partner, for example, it could affect your alimony. It could affect your child support. It could affect who pays for the divorce attorneys.
Yeah,
like all that's in there.
Oh, you're right about that.
If you cheat on your partner, you could be abandoning your prenuptial.
Yeah, but you shouldn't go to jail. Okay. I guess the punishment isn't something. It's something a little bit, or the punishment or the repercussions of it are a little bit different. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. You're right about that. Yeah.
Well, you have criminal law and civil law, right? So
yeah.
Civil law is oftentimes also having to do with morality. That's why we put all the stuff about child support and. Like we would say if you have a child and you're a deadbeat dad, you just bail and never give the mom a penny, that seems immoral. So that we try to put it in the laws so that we have some kind of process to protect the child. That's codifying morality, and it gets murky.
I do think though that there is like this Venn diagram of morality and legality, the Venn diagram of morality and intelligence. And the Venn diagram, for that matter, just to be clear, natural and healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all Venn diagrams. And I do think the overlap is much bigger than it is with other stuff, right? Like there is a lot of commonality there. It's just what we're saying. There's no implication of it, right? There's no, if you're one, you're automatically the other.
Yes.
There's also enough of it that you can't even make a general rule. There's also enough of it that you can say it's not really general. It's, in fact, there's a lot of times when it's not this way or that other way. In all situations.
And like you said, there's overlap, and there's also, I mean, there's just like between emotionality and rationality. I think there's a huge amount of overlap that people that they never want to recognize. You know, they hate recognizing that there's a overlap there.
Would be so interesting to actually form some form of statistics out of this and actually see it, right? That would be so interesting.
Maybe one day in AI we can start working on that. I want to do a poll. Who's the smartest MAGA? I need.
Can you put one option? Nobody.
No, come on. It has to be Rubio.
Oh God.
Who else?
Trump Jr.
Don Jr. Does Don Jr. I guess Don Jr. counts. Is he a smart MAGA though? I was thinking more like
RFK.
RFK Jr. Okay. RFK Jr. Who is the guy? Shit. I'm blanking on the name.
Anthony D'Amelio.
Who's that?
I have no clue. I'm just like saying some names that I know they exist in America.
Howard Lutnick. I think Howard Lutnick.
Good American name.
Howard Lutnick is smart. Who else? Who's the last one?
Wait.
Bastion,
Charlie. What's his name? Charlie. The one
Charlie
that guy. Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
You haven't put Charlie Kirk in there, Sky. How dare you, you dick?
He's not so. Kellyanne Conway. I was thinking Stevie Miller. Okay, Stephen Miller. Maybe Stephen Miller instead of Howard Lutnick. I'll put Stephen Miller because I think Howard Lutnick is clearly the smart one. It's harder.
Kirk, really? I thought
Charlie Kirk's dead.
Yeah, I know, but still, there's a lot of people who think he's smart. You'll see.
We'll do another one with.
Okay.
To see who's smarter. Okay. To see.
Okay,
we'll do a runoff
Okay.
election for the next one. Okay.
Okay.
All right, good. Okay, we did that. We'll see who is that. Well, I did also ask about Nietzsche. I was because we always talk about Nietzsche because we both like him. The conversion of the powerlessness into a hunger for revenge is dressed as justice. This is a psychological engine of the beer hall the putschist. I call them putchers. The putschist. He wasn't primarily stupid. He was aggrieved and looking for permission to act on it. Right? He was already aggrieved. He wasn't stupid. He was just aggrieved and wanted permission. And I think that Nietzsche is saying that's even more resentful, right? Because they already are walking around feeling like anytime I can, I'm gonna jump in and do something horrible. I think that's what the January 6ers were all about, you know. Charlie was smart enough not to debate those who were smarter than him. Charlie was. That's great.
Yeah.
So that means that the Svengali here is the real trick isn't just fooling dumb people, which is like what P.T. Barnum, right? A sucker's born every minute. A fool is born every second in America or whatever. That it's licensing the mean ones, that the mean people. And if 30% of America are a bunch of mean-spirited bastards, and some guy comes along and says, it's okay, ollie oxen free, come and be as mean as you want, it's the purge, then they'll do it. You know, they feel like they can't, and now they can. So it converts private resentment to collective permission.
I also feel like meanness somehow can be seen as, I don't want to say intelligent, but something different, right? Like, I think a lot of people perceive meanness as, oh, this guy has courage to do so or something, right? Like they perceive them as somewhat something they never have the courage, right? Like most people don't have the courage. They fear confrontation.
Right. They don't feel like they have they don't have the permission to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And now when they say if Hitler or Donald Trump comes around and says, now you have permission to be a piece of shit, like this guy, right? Like this guy in my chat, right? This guy is a really horrible guy. And so
I thought he said you are both fucking badass, because that's what I read. Thank you. I am a badass. We're both badasses.
Who don't silence anybody. I don't think anybody got silenced. Anybody get silenced? Don't silence anyone. Let them come.
142 IQ, brother. Tested it last week.
142. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty good. Well, only one question I got, I couldn't answer, and I looked it up online, and even nobody can actually get it right. Like I found so many explanations for that.
Who cares? Let me ask you
otherwise
this,
all
Jim.
of them correct. Yeah.
Where does personal moral responsibility lie then? Like if you manufacture a system for this resentment, does the system bear the responsibility, or do the operators, the people like Rubio, Trump, Hitler, Mussolini, Saddam Hussein, do they bear the responsibility for the marks? Because does the system, so the system has created this resentment in the people who came after who like the January 6ers.
Do you
But
mean responsibility for them being marks?
yeah, so if January 6th happens, right? And you've got you've got all these aggrieved assholes walking around who just got bloodlust in their brains. And then these Svengalis these con men come around and say, okay, now it's time. You have permission to do something. People like Alex Jones and Marco Rubio and Donald Trump, they say, yes, now you have permission. Who bears responsibility? The system that created them, or the operators who weaponize them?
There's responsibility to the operators. Yeah, it's a good question, huh? I think the responsibility is a little bit on the operators, right? Because I do think some people will always just be followers, will always just be I like to think of it in in the army, there have to be soldiers. Some people can just be soldiers, and that's what these people are, right? And in some things, people are just soldiers, and they're fucking excellent at it too, right? They're loyal.
They're good at following
They
orders.
follow instructions properly to the T. They follow orders to the T. They do exactly what you want of them. They're fucking excellent soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
But these people is a soldier responsible for the order that they're given?
The soldier, so the soldier is responsible, right? But so is the general, and so is the system that
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Everyone is. So where do we actually end up blaming anybody? Is Trump really to blame? Is Mussolini really to blame? I mean, these are questions that I really want to get down to the bottom of. So we have the historical echoes that we're talking about. The formula is always the same. You have a charismatic leader, a narrative of national humiliation, promise of restored greatness, the scapegoat, simple moral universe, rejection of complexity. So the con is always the same. This is what I really want to hammer home here. So we have fascist Italy. The marks are people exhausted by World War I chaos. We just talked about unemployment, political fragmentation. What they sell in Italy: national pride, simple moral universe, and order. The trains will run on time, right? Everyone will have a job, and it looked really good in the beginning. And then the exploitation was the humiliation and desire to belong to something powerful. Right. That's the same thing we have this time. Same thing in Nazi Germany. Politically, people economically humiliated, overwhelmed by rapid social change. That speed, that dromospheric speed that I always talk about. Clear moral binaries they wanted. They got the scapegoat again. It's the Jews and the gays and the asocial, the asocials, and they're going to restore the greatness to 1,000-year Reich. That's what they wanted, 1,000-year Reich. Same thing. Their golden age is coming. What did they exploit? The resentment, pleasure of having an enemy you're allowed to hate. I think this is and now I think that we're the same. Cultural displacement. The marks are culturally displaced. They feel, you hear every time, especially working class.
Pay attention, MAGA people. This is about you.
Deindustrialization, institutional distrust. They don't trust any institution, right? I don't trust any institution. So this is why I'm kind of with them on that. I don't trust the FBI. I don't trust these assholes. But what they do, they just put another guy in charge. They didn't get it. They missed. They don't know how to do their homework, right? They miffed it.
No.
I'm with them on the institutional distrust. Anyway, what they sold was nostalgia, enemies, scapegoats, permission to abandon complexity again. It's simple. It's simple. If they break the law, you go to jail. It's simple. If you're in this country and you're brown, you're illegal. Duh. It's just so dumb. It makes them seem stupid, but they're not. They're being exploited. Their grievance and the thrill of transgression as identity, right? Their identity is now being a troll. And they love the fact that Donald Trump is a troll.
Yeah, their whole identity is tied to all of this, this idea, right? The country does suck. The country is bad. The only thing that makes it good is Trump. The only thing that makes it good is my side. This is my identity. I cannot it's a very evil way to put people in that position, because some people will always inherently tie their identity to shit like this. And I think they're being exploited. They're being exploited, right? MAGA people are being exploited and they don't even realize it.
That's exactly right. They're being exploited because of something and it's an easy playbook. Donald Trump has read their fucking
Yeah,
books. Donald Trump knows
yeah,
all about Italy, knows all about Mussolini, knows all about Mein Kampf, and he's done
yep.
the same thing. He's followed the playbook. This is something that I always say. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. It's a variation on a theme. Authoritarian movements are the same song with different words. It's a folk tradition. It's a folk tradition, dude.
Yep. I mean, it's. I don't even. I'm actually curious if Trump actually did look up this thing, but I think he had people who did this for him, right? Like what was it? 2026. What was it called? I forgot the name now.
I
There
don't know.
was
You got to tell
something.
me more.
The 2026 plan
Oh,
before he
yeah,
was
yeah. Project 2026,
Project 2026,
Project 2025, Project 2026, Project 2025.
Project 2025. It was, yeah.
Yeah,
And we we he's following it that to the T, right? Like he's still following through with that, right?
yeah. I mean, a lot of it is just Project 2025. Like all the stuff
Yeah,
with the
Project 20.
TSA that was in there. The Heritage Foundation did it, right? And
Yeah,
they put their plan in writing, man. And he said, "I don't know what it is. Never heard about it. I don't even know who the Heritage Foundation is." And they're like, "Wait a second. Howard Lutnick works for you. What do you mean you don't know who it is?" No, I never heard of
yeah,
it. Don't know anything about it. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what
So
it is.
I think the reason why all this shit is happening is because they got a little bit of a perfect storm. They have this one person who's like, for some reason, magical to these people, right? He sold them an idea. He managed to, because that's what Trump did, right? Trump started selling this idea. Hey, I'm a successful guy. I'm an outsider. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not gonna be the one. I'm not like the same as all the, like, he's a pick me. I'm not the same as all the other politicians. I'm like you. I'm a working man. Although he never drove a car. He never
He's
actually
never had a
worked his
driver's
entire
license.
life. Yeah, he never worked a day his entire life. But
He's
he
never had a
somehow,
job.
yeah, he said I understand you Christians, although he's never went to church. Probably doesn't know a
He
fucking
cried. He
dime
cried
about
when the
Christianity.
Episcopalian bishop on his inauguration said mercy. He hates mercy. He hates Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. So literally, he's like, it's all of this shit, but somehow people managed to see him as a outsider, right? And all of these people who already felt as outsider, they identified with him and they started buying all this thing. And he started creating this identity almost. You either support him or you don't, right? And this identity that he sold to people, this MAGA, this red hat, because he even gave the red hat, right?
The
He
pedo cap.
he created this whole identity, and then there's these other people who Trump, not just he fucking used you, he exploited you, MAGA people. He sold you an identity, and he used your identity to give it to the rich to make them richer. So
That's
you
right.
essentially got the best con man in the world because he's really fucking good at this.
And Marco
of what he
Rubio
did.
said he was the best con man America's ever seen. Marco Rubio said it over and over again. JD Vance said he's America's Hitler. And these idiots were just like, nope, I love him because he's going to be different. I saw Megyn Kelly this week. Megyn Kelly, who has been such a Trumper. She's the one who said that, like, oh, well, they're not illegal. They were just barely legal. I mean, they were 15. It's not pedophile. It's not pedophilia if they're 15, according to Megyn Kelly. But
that's why we call
saying
them.
that she thought it would be different. That that Donald Trump has totally fucked us. That we elected him, and he's the same as all these other guys. He's worse.
That's why I think people call them low IQ more than anything. It's not just because of this behavior, but rather because really, like, before Trump was president, you could have supported him and had all that motivation. But he's been president for 2 years now. It's half his presidency. You're living worse than ever.
6 years.
The country is more divided than ever. The world is in the worst state that it's ever been. There's more wars than it's been for years now.
More wars.
Created more conflict.
50% more expensive. Groceries.
Everything is worse. But you know who's doing better? The rich people. The stock market is doing great. Why is the stock market doing great? Because that facilitates the rich people.
For the rich people, yeah. That's for the rich.
Donald Trump used you, the common person, the MAGA person, used your good willingness, your devotion to him, and sold you some lies. You bought into it and you keep buying into it. That's why people are calling you, MAGA people, low IQ. because you keep buying into this bullshit without actually opening your eyes and at least looking at the reality. Because that's the sad reality. That's why personally I think you guys are low IQ nowadays. What more do you need to see? He started a war that never happened. That's making your life worse more than anything. But don't worry about it, because the billionaires are getting a fuck ton of money.
But Chip, do you think
And
the Marks will ever pay for this? Do you think that these people will ever
I don't
have a
think they
reckoning?
should.
You don't think they should?
I don't think they should. I don't think you MAGA people are to blame. I think to blame is this fucking asshole. I think you should wake up. I think you've been you're mesmerized.
I feel that way. They feel mesmerized at this point, right? I feel like I don't really care if you voted for Donald Trump in November 5th, 2024. But if you still are supporting him on June, whatever it is today, June 7th, 2026, you are I don't want to say you're low Q. Maybe you're low T. Maybe you're just low T. You got no testosterone. You got nothing in your balls. You're just a mark. And it's
whatever it is. Yeah, whatever it is, like whatever brought you there to this position of feeling maybe as an outsider or whatever it is. Just remember, Donald Trump is not your friend. He doesn't care about you. Donald Trump will run over you without absolutely any problem for $5 fucking. He doesn't give a shit. He only gives a shit about money.
He's literally said it. He said he doesn't even think about Americans' financial. I don't think about their money. I don't think about any of their shit. Fuck them. I mean, like, this is this Daffy Duck talking motherfucker. Anyway, we need to get back to the.
We need to get back to it.
The ethical.
I just really need to say that stuff, because I know there's some people listening, and I know some people deep inside they actually do feel that they're being conned. They just
so the reason why I asked about this, though, because they're cons. The con artist harvests these people, right? The con artist looks for these people to con, and he's really good. He identifies the resentment and offers it a costume. An enemy, a cause, a leader, right? That's what you need. An enemy, the trans, the cause, golden age for America. The leader, well, him, right? The orange clown. Yeah. I got a pound of makeup on my face every morning to let you know I love you. Systems create conditions of stress, displacement, and manufactured scarcity, though. And it's this system that I always want to go back to, because the system is exactly what's causing this, right? It's capitalism again. It's the thing that keeps fucking you, but you keep thinking it's the blacks or the illegals. It's always somebody else, but nope, it's the system doing it. But they'll harvest you out of that system. It's almost as if the system grows these assholes. The mark chooses the grift over complexity, outsources moral judgment, and becomes complicit. So that's the thing, though. How could you be a simultaneous victim and perpetrator? Right? This is the tragedy and the moral complexity here that we were just getting at. We can hold both. The systems that manufacture marks deserve condemnation, and individuals who choose cruelty over solidarity bear moral responsibility. So this is the thing, like, how do you care about these class traitors? Because that's what these people are. They choose, instead of solidarity with their working man, instead of solidarity with other people that are just as poor as they are, just as the same social status. No, they will choose loyalty to the con man, and that's disgusting.
Sky. But the problem is, you see, because that's the beautiful con that Donald Trump did. He managed to actually unite these people from that one class against themselves, right? He managed to unite those people in believing that the way to do it is to support the billionaires. Nothing else matters, right? It's not like a lot of people stick around to the MAGA stuff because they literally are. They're loyal to their neighbors, to their group, to the other people who are in that MAGA group. I think a lot of people are MAGA and they defend Trump because they identify, and the identity is coming from other people around them who are also MAGA.
Yes, but that's because they've infiltrated a whole neighborhoods and stuff like that. They've convinced people that there are red states and blue states and red counties and blue counties, which isn't the case. If you're 51, I lived in a county in Virginia that went for Obama by 12 votes. 12. That was so close that Obama won that county by 12. That is tight. That is less than 51%.
Yeah.
That's less than 51%. It's like 50.0003% or something.
I think that's also grounds for you can recount it, right?
They
And
recount.
so
They were
yeah,
recounting
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But those counties that we're talking, is that a red county? I'm sorry, or a blue county? Is that a blue county or a red county? They're moral imbeciles.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't matter. Like 12 votes. What do you mean? It's a red or a blue? It's not. It's
it's not
clearly
exactly. It's
divided, right?
purple, like always.
But even if it's 60-40, which is still a big difference, it's still
Still
there's a
purple.
lot of people there who identify it the other way.
Yeah.
But this identity politics, wherever you are, don't get bogged down with identity. Just
It's so stupid to identify as a
think.
Republican or Democrat anyway. If Donald Trump doesn't know your face and name when he walks into a room, you're not a Republican. You're a tool who votes every 4 years to keep someone like him in power. You aren't Republican unless you're on the payroll or you know the guy. You aren't Republican. You're just a guy who votes Republican. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I've never identified as Democrat or Republican, except for a short time when I was helping someone with a campaign. But that's a whole other story. Kind of have to at that point. But like, I'm not a Democrat or Republican.
Doesn't even matter. I think like you can identify.
It matters because
like,
his identity matters.
No, I personally don't think you should attest to any identity. I think you should choose based on the policies that speak most to you. And the policies that speak most to you is, I'm sorry, not we need border control. The borders, there's so many illegals. There's so many illegals coming here. No, it's not that. It's not that. That's not the problem. Okay, the problem is you're living miserably. Somebody who comes and tells you the reason why you're living miserably is because of somebody else, that's kind of stupid. Okay, you're living miserably because the rich get all the money, they get all the tax breaks, you have to pay so much, and everything you pay with, all your money is used to give more to the rich.
Yes. Well, that's why I keep on saying the system is what causes this over and over again. And that's the system that you're talking about. It always comes back to that, right? But I do want to hold these marks accountable because they're aiding and abetting pedophiles. Like if you support Donald Trump on June 6th, you're accomplice to Jeffrey Epstein. You're helping him cover up Jeffrey Epstein. You are an accomplice.
But I think you need to like the way I speak to people about animal rights, right? I think the moment that you have this conversation with somebody, the moment you acknowledge. By the way, I spoke recently this week, I forgot to tell you, I spoke to somebody who was a MAGA supporter, who didn't know about the E.G. Carroll case. I showed them the court documents, and they're like, holy shit, I didn't know. And from being a Trump supporter, somebody who was on Discord with the name Donald Trump, and with the Donald Trump image, they changed the image. They didn't change the name yet, but they changed the image of Donald Trump.
That's amazing.
I think they were embarrassed by it because of all the shit that we were showing them in data.
Rapist, and they'll just go, no, they don't believe it.
Exactly, and this is the whole thing. I think like once you actually see the data, once you actually see the evidence for it, at this moment in time, you're responsible. You cannot be held responsible if you fell for a con. We all do at some point in our time.
We all fall for
cons. But the minute people are showing you the evidence,
Columbia Clearinghouse.
The minute, I don't know what that is, but the minute that people show you the evidence and you don't wake up, you start being responsible for it.
Let me ask you, who in the chat fell for the Columbia Clearinghouse con? Does anybody? You don't know what it is? In the 1990s, 80s, and 90s, there was this thing where you could get like 10 CDs for a penny, but then they take out like, I forget how much it was, like $15 a week, $15 a month, and they would send you a CD, and you would get like, you just couldn't stop getting them, or a tape or a record. They always were sending you, and you didn't get to choose. They just kept sending you like, you got free tapes. You got those free tapes. Columbia Clearinghouse. Shit. A lot of people fell for it. The demon crates believe behind closed doors. Believe what? What do they believe? Fascism is not an aberration. It's the logical conclusion of a system that prioritizes hierarchy for humanity, over humanity, or for humanity. That's Umberto Eco. Of course, he wrote the 14 points of fascism, something I made a whole video about, the 14 points of fascism, and how Trump.
Great video.
Great
video.
Yeah, I think it should have done more on the higher numbers. Go watch it. But Umberto Eco, obviously, he's one of the experts on fascism. wrote a lot about it. Do you think we could have genuine compassion for the mark, Chip? My question for Chip is genuine compassion for the mark without excusing the moral failure. Like, where's
I
the
think
line between victim and perpetrator?
I think that's the line that we were just discussing, right? The moment you are, ignorance is the line, right? If you're ignorant, you're a victim. If you're no longer ignorant, then you're a perpetrator. You're guilty. The minute you already know of the injustice of the shit that you're swallowing, the minute that the shit that you're actively ignoring, I'm sorry, but you can't. You're responsible. You bear responsibility. If I don't know that somebody is being harmed right now on the street, I'm not like I'm not responsible for it either way. But I can't say, oh, why didn't I go out there and do something if I didn't know that it was happening? But the minute that I see it happening, I can take some blame. I can't blame myself, let alone if I'm the one demanding that happens, right? Like if you're the one person who is actively supporting this guy, who's actively supporting the convicted rapist, who's actively supporting everything that he does, even though it's harming you and everyone else, and even though you know for a fact that it's harming you and everyone else, then you should definitely held accountable. Because why? Why else would you do it?
I guess you're right, but I mean, at what point do I say this is something that always bothers me, because it's like with a lot of these moral issues, when do we start saying, hey, dude, it's your fucking fault? Is it June 7th, 2026? Because holy shit, I feel like everyone is watching the news. Everyone knows we're at war with Iran. Everyone knows about the 161 dead. We've killed something like over 200 children now in Iran. The Israelis have now killed over 200 children in Lebanon, as if we're racing, as if we're having a contest to see who could kill more children with bombs. And yet they don't. I feel like if you still support them, you're in on it, man.
100%.
You are complicit.
Yeah. Every child that dies in Iran, it's because you are the one who's supporting this.
Yeah.
Why aren't you?
Like this MK83, poor children, ha ha ha. That's exactly what I'm talking about, dude. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you be born in a country where? How dare you be born in Iran? If you were born in Iran, you somehow deserve to die.
Yeah,
because
right,
you're a child who's born in Iran.
You were born on the wrong side of a border, so your humanity doesn't matter anymore. You have no right to life.
Such a messed up way of thinking.
So crazy.
Bro.
That's why they think. That's why they want borders, because it puts them in a supreme. They feel supreme when they have a border. That's why they like borders.
And the sad part is that these are also Christians, guys. These are also fucking Christians. They'll come left and right.
Christians. They're not Christians.
Of course, they'll say left and right about Jesus and about I'm good. I go to the church and shit. No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to support somebody who's killing children in your name, you're not good. You need to stop.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good. Yeah, save me from life in Iraq. I don't know what that means. Save me from life in Iraq.
Oh, this person is saying that it's okay to kill children because life in Iraq is so. First of all, we were talking about Iran. I understand that the fact that one letter changes, it's very difficult for you to completely. Wait, I thought we're the war in Iraq. No, it's the war in Iran, brother. It's in Iran. It's a big ass fucking country. Iran is a fucking huge country with a very interesting culture and very beautiful and extremely intelligent people. If you think of Iran as a desert or something, you might be a little bit misinformed, because Iran is a beautiful country with mountains, with sea, with a lot of stuff. Well,
abortion bans were at Democrat rallies. It's just so stupid. That is so. Yeah. This is how crazy they are. What the fuck? First of all, I hate Democrats. I'm not a fucking Democrat. Secondly, because Democrats are conservative fascists as well. They're just not as violent and mean as the Republicans. But abortion. This is how mental you are. This is how susceptible you are to cons. The con man told you that there were abortion bans at Democrat rallies. Smart. Yes. Sure. Yeah. They were going around when that's what they thought. Pregnant women thought, you know what? I want to go to make one of the most important and fucking craziest decisions and really sad decisions of my life at a political rally. I do it in a van and then I just walk away. Just walk away, skip away. Right? Stupid. So
Oh,
stupid.
it's very stupid. Also, the same person who made the mistake of Iraq says all Muslims are the same to me. That's why he made the mistake with
No,
Iraq and
all,
Iran.
all Muslims who have all oil countries are the same to him,
Well,
of course.
maybe learn the fact that not all Iranian people are Muslim. So are you saying that when Americans go and bomb people in Iran, the bombs only affect the Muslim people? What
Yeah,
about the
it's so
Christians
funny.
in Iran?
All the Christians and
You're okay
atheists.
killing? Are you okay killing Christians in Iran? I suppose you are a Christian, given your bigotry or your bigoted views.
Isn't that funny? All right, so I wanna just look really quickly at who won. Rubio won. Rubio won. He's the smartest MAGA. The
God.
smartest MAGA was Rubio at 57%. RFK Jr. was at 17%. So now we have to run Rubio against somebody else. So who's the smartest MAGA?
Are you gonna put Charlie Kirk?
I'll put Rubio. Yeah, sure. You want Charlie Kirk there?
Yes, please.
Rubio, Kirk, Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
put Donald Trump. Let's see if they betray.
Donald Trump. Is he the smartest one? Is he smarter than Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, let's see them betray all of these people. Chris Tucker, somebody says, but yeah.
Donald Trump, senior. Tucker Carlson. Oh, let's put Trump in the end. Let's do Tucker
not
Carlson.
Chris Tucker. Sorry, Tucker Carlson. I thought Tucker. I saw Tucker. I said Chris Tucker. Yeah, Tucker
not Chris
Carlson.
Tucker. Tucker Carlson, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. The American names, they all blend.
Little Marco. All right, so this is the new poll starting now. Who's the smartest MAGA? Is it Marco Rubio? Is it Charlie Kirk, Megyn Kelly, or Tucker Carlson? For Charlie, man, I don't know. Charlie Kirk leaned to the left in the end. I got that joke from Smoking Blondie. All right,
because he died getting shot in the neck, leaning to the left.
Yeah, he leaned to the left. Get it?
That is funny.
Yeah. All right, so the Nazis didn't rain from the sky. I say that every day, so I made this little chart. Nazis didn't rain from the sky. They came to power incrementally. Each step was a window for resistance that didn't close, but it was left open. It kept on being left open. That's what I say every day. This is like 1932 Germany. We aren't in 1945 Germany. People are like, how dare you compare him to Hitler? It's not like Hitler killed 6 million people. How dare you compare Donald Trump? Well, Donald Trump, given 10 years, will definitely kill 6 million people. He's already signed the death warrant for about 15 million children in Africa. So, the question isn't just how do we prevent this, but how do we turn back when we're already so deep in it? So, current status assessment. Okay, here we go. Legal judicial capture, advance and accelerate. Courts are compromised at many levels. Media
already happened. Yeah.
Media already happened, right? Media ecosystem fractured behind short-term repair. Alternative information bubbles are
also it's still in the media still has some form. There's media who hasn't been silenced yet, but yes, it is fractured, and
even
Donald
if it's not
Trump
silenced, it's it's fractured. Dramatically shifted. The Overton window is dramatically shifted. Norms are eroded before institutions fall. Donald Trump is suing somebody for releasing his tax returns when fucking presidents always release their tax returns.
The killing of what are those two people by ICE agents? Renee Good
and Alex Preddy.
Alex Preddy, yeah, that was normalized. No? These MAGA people are like, what do you mean? He didn't listen to the police officers. He deserved to die because he didn't listen to the instruction of the police officers.
He got between a police officer who was brutalizing a woman and the woman.
Yeah. He defended the woman and the police officer. He defended
a woman who was being brutalized by a cop, so he deserved to die. Cops need to be able to brutalize our women. That's what has to happen. Military bureaucratic resistance. Some institutional refusal is still functioning, but it's fragile. Every day, Kelly always looks like he's going to lose his clearance. John Bolton is now about to spend millions of dollars in order to get Trump off his back. Operators will betray each other. This is historically reliable. Watch for fractures. I think this is happening right now.
Wasn't it also that when what's his name? Fuck me, I'm spacing out on his name. Elon Musk tweeted that Trump is in the Epstein files.
Yeah, that's why he won't release them. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so funny. That was such a good times. Good times.
And now,
Thanks,
but now MAGA will still be like, no, he's not in there. He's in there like
yeah,
millions of times.
yeah.
What in the hell? Mass non-compliance capacity, that's still alive. We can still do it. Historically, the most effective break on authoritarian consolidation. I think people should just stop paying their taxes. I think people should just stop, like, a tax strike, a worker strike. We might actually get one, a full-on general strike, which is against the law in America. Non-compliance, though, I think is happening more and more, and I want to talk about that because I think that non-compliance, especially now, how AI has stolen all of our shit and made the same people rich. But for years, I was told you can't make a Batman or Superman or Spider-Man comic because it's owned by somebody else, even though the folk tradition is we can use each other's stuff and actually increase the culture. But now corporations buy that and they hold that franchise, they hold that IP, which is bullshit. The reason why copyright law exists is so that in order to encourage creativity, but now it stifles it because corporations are people. Now, corporations should not be allowed to own IP. Only individuals should. And that family, in the old days, if you invented Batman, you die, and then 50 years after you die, it goes into public domain because your family then will have reaped all of the rewards. You created it, you made a bunch of money on it, you owned it.
Yeah.
Your family gets a little bit of money for 50 years after you die, and then everybody gets to play. But not anymore. Now corporations own it for perpetuity. So like American mythology, like our King Arthur, which is like our Batman, our Robin Hood, like our Spider-Man, those will never be part of the folk tradition. We won't ever have a rich culture because they are destroying it. But I'm supposed to follow their rules. I think people should just not follow any of these rules at all. Not total non-compliance. I don't think anybody should follow the law anymore. They don't follow the law. Donald Trump doesn't follow the law. Why should I?
Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely have that. We should definitely have like a mass non-compliance, that's for sure.
Mass non-compliance, exactly. Mutual aid, community infrastructure. I think that's growing, and this is the anarchist answer. Makes people less dependent on the authoritarian state. The anarchist solution is always to make something like a shadow government, make a shadow non-government, a shadow organization that can be resilient when all this shit falls apart. Start working with your neighbors, start making community gardens, start going to book clubs, start trying to meet your friends so that you have someone to hang out with. Sky, you sound like Wayne Shung. No, I don't. No, I do not.
I never listened to Wayne Shung, so I don't know.
Wayne Shung says, break the law and then stand around and get arrested. I'm not telling people to stand around and get arrested. Break the law. Don't get caught.
I like this statement. Trump is mentioned more times in the Epstein files than Jesus is in the Bible. That's so fucking good. I'm sorry, this one. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, in the Trump Bible. Trump made a Bible, so it makes perfect sense. Did you like it when Homelander made his own Bible?
Oh, that was so funny, man. Oh, that whole thing. The ending was. I loved it. You just loved him
begging for his life when he did.
Fuck, I would love to see Trump do that. Oh, that would be. Honestly,
okay, so I want to talk about solutions here. We'll talk about in the afterglow. We'll talk about that when it's on the members only. What works versus what doesn't? Mass compliance, general strikes, work stoppages. That always works. What doesn't work? Voting.
No. I'm sorry. Just to be clear, voting does work. It's just insufficient. Please let's not send the message that you shouldn't vote, right? Go out there and vote. Please don't vote.
Okay.
Vote. Please vote.
Yeah, guys, go out and vote.
Not for the rapist, though.
Go out and vote. It'll make a huge difference.
Not for the rapist. Vote for anybody but the rapist, please.
If voting made a difference, they'd make it illegal. Sid Life's a new member. Thank you, Sid Life, for being here. I appreciate you, Sid Life. Become a channel member like Sid Life. Thank you so much, Sid Life. You're amazing. Love you, Sid Life. Longtime watcher. He's been a member before. Okay, so institutional refusal. Judges, bureaucrats, military officers who refuse unlawful orders. Great. That always works. Appealing to the marks. You don't out-argue a religion. You can't out-argue a religion, Chip. Why are we arguing with Marx?
I think appealing to the marks, arguing some of them does help the other them. I think we shouldn't, like, you want them to be held accountable, then they should know what they're doing wrong. So you have to have conversations with them. Do I think you should spend a long time with them? No, but I do think you should still have conversations with them.
Okay, so but insufficient by itself. You can't.
It's insufficient by itself. Yeah,
I think that we need to get away from this idea that you can shit post your way out of fascism.
No,
you cannot shit post your way out of fascism. The fascists own the algorithms. People think that arguing online with fucking maggers is gonna help.
It does help, but it's insufficient.
I don't think you can't. It's not going to be enough to fight fascism, right? It's
no, but there are people who change their mind by doing that.
Yes, so but we cannot all just post memes about Donald Trump and think that that's going to save us.
No, I don't mean memes. I mean actual general information campaigns, right?
Okay.
Like, I think information campaigns, whether that comes through talking to people or a video of the 16 ways that 16 points of fascism, they're all things that help. Do they convert every person? No, but even if one of them gets, it trickles down. It helps. It's not sufficient. It's insufficient, but it's still something that you can do.
Buy Melania coin. Operator defection, of course, when the Kissingers and the Rubios finally realize that the ship is sinking, they'll jump like rats off the Titanic. Waiting for operators to grow a conscience, though, they won't. They'll calculate. No, we need to make it look like their ship is sinking at all times. Mutual aid networks that reduce state dependency. I already talked about that. Start building mutual aid. Start learning how to fire a gun with your friends. Take your friends out. If you have a gun and your friends don't, take them out. Take them to the shooting range. Teach them how to shoot. Please. We need more people. Respectability politics threatens nothing, changes nothing. Respectability politics. I feel like everyone. How you're being mean.
Yeah.
Did you say guillotine?
You support a rapist. Fuck that.
Yes. Full auto. Take your friends out. Take your friends out to the shooting range, I mean. There's no difference between fascism or communism. You're a lifelong liberal. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
You literally don't know what fascism or communism are. It
no, it doesn't know. You're a liberal. Great. Let's hear out the fascists one more times. You said this a year ago, Jack.
Trump is fascist. We've already established that. That's why Sky made a video showing the 16 points of fascism and how Trump aligns with most of them.
Indeed.
16.
Don't call it fascist if they're afraid. This guy Gov, he's been here before. Gov is easy. Yeah, it's always, this guy's always here. He loves. Don't call us fascists. It's mean. No, we got to hear the fascists out. We got to hear the alt-right out. Doesn't like the name. Fascist, but loves fascism. Liberals love fascism. Mutual aid networks. International economic isolation is limited but real. Yeah, but we can never do it. Single issue organizing without solidarity infrastructure. This is the biggest problem with single issue stuff, is that no solidarity. We need solidarity. We ain't got it. The Rubicon isn't one river. It's a delta, and we're somewhere in the middle of it. Yeah.
Can I have a problem with this person.
Go.
I've seen a Democrat. I've been a Democrat my entire life. I call bullshit on that. Right now, the GOP is way less disgusting than the current left. Such an empty statement, Gob.
Yeah, I'm a Democrat.
Why do you people make these empty statements? You like, this is the problem with identity politics. You engage in identity politics and you make these empty ass statements that mean absolutely nothing. Substantiate your claims, brother. Otherwise, what you're saying means absolutely nothing. I've been a Democrat my entire life, but now I'm a Republican and the Democrats suck. Who gives a shit, man? Can you make something?
Does that establish authority, Chip? If somebody tells you that they're a Democrat their whole life, does that make you feel like
No,
what they're
it's
going to
just
say
supposed to
next?
discredit. It's just like, listen, I've been there. I've been where
Yeah,
you are.
yeah, I
That's why
get
I'm
that.
discrediting you. It's not because I'm stupid or engaged in identity politics. I've been
Mhm.
in your shoes. I've been vegan before.
Oh
That's
yeah,
why you
I was
shouldn't be
vegan before.
vegan.
Yeah, let me tell
Yeah,
you
it's
what's
exactly
what.
the
Yeah,
same shit. I was vegan
yeah.
before. I was a Democrat before. But in fact, the Republicans are much better today. We now have a rapist in charge. He raped women and he thinks women are inferior. And he gives all that money that you give a taxes to the rich people. And we,
Mhm.
the poor, suffer from it. But this makes it somehow better. The Democrats have absolutely no spine and they cannot fight against it. But somehow, because all this is happening, oh, hail our leader, it's all
Chip.
good.
Okay.
Fucking assholes. Sorry.
Chip loves to go after the cultists. Chip, let me ask you, do you think we've passed the point of no return, or is there still hope for us? Is it
We'll
defeatist?
see.
Or we'll see. What do you mean we'll
After
see?
the
What's the most
after the midterms, I think that's the point of no return. If the Republicans win the midterms, then we pass the point of no return. Yes.
do you feel like I'm see, I don't want to give people false hope, but I also don't want them to learn helplessness. And I feel like that's always what people do. Oh, it won't matter. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing
No,
I
no,
can
no. I
do.
don't mean that way. I mean it's the point of no return, meaning you are going towards fascism. The moment if in the midterms the Republicans win, that means that they will go even harder on their policies.
Mm.
And you just know that also means that he will try to run for president again. He'll find a way. He literally will. Doesn't matter if he'll just be a fucking puppet that who like a Weekend at Bernie's type of situation.
Yeah.
It won't matter because
So we're in
he
the
is
middle
such
of
a
the Rubicon. It's like we haven't crossed the Rubicon yet, but we're in the middle. It's like we're Caesar's army in the middle of the Rubicon. We can still stop. We can still turn back. We can
yeah.
still change it.
Yeah, that's you see Trump 2028. You see? That's what they are. They're like they're Trump 20 really you really hate democracy that much? You really love a convicted rapist that much that you'd rather destroy democracy to maintain your your ego is so big that you'd rather destroy democracy in the process instead of acknowledging that you might be wrong about this? Like this is so insane to me that there's people like that. Like I'm just how have you become an adult like a child? That's that like I understand a child because children they can't handle ego. They don't really understand what it is, right? Like children are like they just brought up. There's this big thing called the ego. They're like that's what you learn, right? That's when you're a teenager. You become like I'm like, cool. This is cool. I'm an ego, whatever shit. But when you become an adult, you have to learn to control your ego. You have to learn to understand when it's good for you to use your ego, when it's bad. Ego doesn't equal good, and ego doesn't equal bad. It can be very, very bad for you to just follow your ego. And if you vote for Trump in 2028, even if all that shit goes down and he still runs in 2028 somehow, and you actually vote for him, then you are voting against democracy to support your own ego.
I love this statement. An anarchist on a regulated platform. That's just hilarious. Yeah, it is hilarious, right? But anarchists exist alongside. We're not of the system, but we are with the system somehow. We are interacting with the system. It's not something that we can just abandon. You would like it if everyone who had a different opinion or wanted revolution would go into a cave somewhere and not talk to anybody. I'm sure, but this is how mass communication works today. What anarchist used paper to publish a book about anarchism and philosophy and theory? Oh, I guess you're not an anarchist because you bound a book. Like it's just so stupid.
It's the Nirvana fallacy, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's the appeal to hypocrisy, right? But this is always
I feel like that's what it is, because or maybe not anymore. You're not. It's not perfect. You can't be. You're in this. Oh, it is an appeal to hypocrisy because they're calling you a hypocrite for being on a regulated platform. Mm-hmm. Okay, I see what you mean. That's their whole point. Okay, mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that is.
I'm a hypocrite. I can't possibly be an anarchist because I'm on YouTube. Like, I'm an anarchist because I'm on YouTube. Actually. I think most people who are on YouTube are trying to go their own way. Most people who are YouTube creators, even the fucking conservative ones, they are trying to go their own way and live on their own terms and try to do something different from the status quo. And I think that there's a little anarchism in all of them, honestly. Even the ones that are super Trumpy, they just don't realize it. They're fooled by Trump. They think Trump is the disruptor. They think that he's the Megyn Kelly said that he was like a walking middle finger. And it's like, exactly, you stupid bitch. Why did you fucking stand up for him? Because he was flipping off all the people that I hate. And she thought that he was going to break down the deep state and stop starting wars and stop doing it. Like, it's almost like she is these libertarians. If you could disabuse them of this whole capitalist craziness, they would be anarchists. They're almost there, a lot of them, believe it or not. But yeah. YouTube is actually sensitive, no censorship. Yeah, it's very little censorship, that's for sure. I've only been
way less than TikTok for sure.
I've only had one stream shut down, and it was because of Ted Cruz.
Yeah, it's funny because Gob, I just see this Gob person who said Trump 2028 is now saying he's not. I don't like MAGA, but anti-MAGA is so much dumber. Gob, stop. Gob, you just proving the same point that your ego is so high. Yeah, you guys are right. MAGA is stupid. I'm not MAGA. No, I'm not MAGA.
I'm not MAGA. I just love him. I just love him. I would just lay down I'd give up my 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah, I would destroy democracy to vote for him, sure. But I'm not MAGA. No. I have a problem with people who are anti-MAGA. Why aren't you anti-MAGA? Dude, this is so stupid.
Rubio beat Kirk and Carlson. Megyn Kelly got 0. All right, last poll. We're gonna do one more poll, then we're gonna go do the members only stream.
Yeah, we also have another MAGA here in chat. I'm MAGA. Cry harder. Thank you for proving my point, T-Man, the man with the face. Thank you so much for proving my point. You just proved that all you care is your ego with this statement called "cry harder." Thank you so much, man. I wasn't really expecting
Donald Trump spends all day crying about how Caitlin Collins doesn't smile at him enough when she asked him how many babies he raped.
I'm actually genuinely curious if the man with the face, if you weren't intelligent enough to actually realize that you're proving my point by typing "cry harder," or that you let your ego do the best of you, as you probably will the next time you will vote.
I need two
because
more
if
MAGAs.
You let your ego get the best of you, you'll end up in the same situation where you'll be the one looking stupid. Because you know what? Donald Trump will take advantage of you. He's exploiting you right now, and he'll continue exploiting you. That's what you'll do. So you're just waiting for your own exploitation. I don't live in the United States. I'm good right now. But you know what?
For now.
Yeah, for now. But you know what?
A Romanian port just got bombed.
Oh yeah, it's not a port, but like they're stupid. You know, the Russians are pretty stupid. Well,
it was a Ukrainian. It was a Ukrainian.
It was a Russian drone.
Oh, I thought it was a Ukrainian drone.
No,
a Russian drone bombed
like a
shipyard that was owned by Romanians but not in Romanian, because Romania's landlocked, right? It was in a Romanian shipyard. Yeah. All right, we got a new poll. Who's the smartest one? We have Rubio, Trump, Ivanka.
I'm voting Ivanka. Fuck that.
You think Ivanka? I mean, she is beating the shit out of indigenous people in Greece now. In ethnic Albanians are being disappeared so that she can build a beautiful resort. And the fact that there's this video going around now where she's talking about we were on our child trafficking trip, me and my husband and the Rothschilds.
Oh God.
And we got out of the water. We saw this beautiful habitat with all these birds. It's hundreds of hectares. And I just
voted for her to troll the Trumpsters, but I didn't know she was that bad also.
Ivanka's
I don't know anything
evil,
about
dude.
her.
They're disappearing Albania. Look up Ivanka Albania when you have a second. It's brutal what she's doing. She and her her husband, what's his name? Jared Kushner, whose father had a pardon from Donald Trump because of all the fraud that Jared Kushner's dad did.
So the previous one, still Marco Rubio won?
Oh, no, it looks, Marco Rubio still won. So that's why he's in the next one. Looks like Ivanka's at 30. Oh, Ivanka's at 33. Rubio might lose to Ivanka, but
Oh, no.
Donald's only at 25. Oh no.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
are
I
we gonna
mean,
do, Chip?
what are we gonna do? Well, you know, Sky, I think all we can do now is pray to the non-existent God and say, can you, if you really have that one guy named Jesus, can you just fucking send him over? We got all these people who think that Trump is actually Jesus or is better than Jesus, or they are definitely worshiping Trump more than they are Jesus. Can you just send Jesus here down and be like, hey guys, can you just stop worshiping a rapist? Can you at least worship somebody that's better or something? Can you just like he raped a woman, you know that? We all found out that he raped a woman. Can you just stop? Can you please stop? Like,
Do you know about a show called Good Omens on? I think it's
no,
on
I've heard of
Prime
that.
or
I've
Paramount.
heard of it, but I don't know.
I think you'd love it. By the way, I think you'd really, really love it. You would love it so much. Actually, I read the book when it came out. It's by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. But I think they made more than just one book. But it was a collaboration
Ooh.
between Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, and it's about an angel and demon who have a will they won't they vibe, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I put it down now. I'm like, I see the snapshot. It already looks fun.
the first one's about the 4-minute apocalypse. The second one, I don't remember. The third one though is about the second coming of Christ. You just reminded me of it. And the last season's only, I think, 3 episodes. It's quite good. I think you'd enjoy it. Oh
Wait,
my God, Ivanka's at 40%.
I'm curious, Kai. Do you think that between if Jesus came down and ran against Trump, who do you think would win? Like, I'm curious, Trumpsters, would you vote for Jesus or would you vote for Trump? I still think they'd vote for Trump, man.
Should I do another poll right now? It looks like Ivanka's going to win this one. Who wins in a fight, Jesus or Donald Trump? They hate Jesus, dude. They hate him.
They do hate Jesus.
So look, there's this guy that do you know Bill Maher? He's a
yeah, I know him. Yeah,
a limousine liberal fucking capitalist asshole. I don't like him, but I do like his show. And
you don't like him, but you kind of like him. Go on.
I don't like him, but I like his show. I hate watch him on his show. I hate him actually, but I do watch his show. And he said this thing once. So he made a show called Religulous. Have you ever seen it? Religulous?
No.
Oh, it's actually quite good. He made a movie about atheism, and he goes all around the world talking to like the religious leaders of the world. It's actually really good. I think you'd like it. But he made this movie, and he made it. He was like 20 years ago. It's not a brand new film or anything. And he says that every week since he made that movie for the last 20 years, people come up to him and say, "Hey, I became atheist because I saw your movie." He's every week, at least one person tells him that. But he says,
amazing.
but he's been doing this liberal shows for 25 years on HBO and ABC. And he said not one time in the last 25 years has anybody ever said, "Oh, I stopped being Republican because of you." And his conclusion is that they'll give up Jesus before they'll give up Donald Trump.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
All the time. He's like, people will, you could present evidence about how God doesn't exist, and people might go, "Hey, you're right, God doesn't exist," but they will not give up Donald Trump.
Nope.
They love him so much. Looks like Ivanka won at 38%.
I tend to believe I might be guilty of that. Sorry, everyone.
Your fault.
My fault.
Damn, Chip, you made Ivanka. Well, Ivanka beat out Donald Trump, her dad, and Rubio. So I think that's good. I think that's the end of that poll. I want to do one more poll because even though I promised it would only be who would win in an election between Trump and Jesus Christ.
That's funny.
Donald Trump and Jesus Christ. Who would win?
I'm not going to say this time what I vote.
Don't vote, Chip.
I can vote, but I'm not going to say what I vote.
Don't vote.
So wait, Sky, are we supposed to just for everyone listening, are we supposed to vote who we think is gonna win or who we want to win?
Who would win?
Yeah, but is it like a guess? Like, oh, I think this person will win, or is it like I
Who
want
would you
this
vote
person to
for?
win?
Oh, I should have said
Who would-
who would you vote for? No, who do you think would
would
win?
you-
I guess that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, who do you think would win? Not who would you vote for?
Yeah. So anyway, the last season of Good Omens, Jesus is in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jesus is in the show, and it's fucking great. It's really good. Like there's even a fish instead of a fish and loaves scene. There's a scene where he. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it. I really think you should watch. I think you would like it a lot. There's a bunch of gay shit in there. I know you love that gay shit.
I do love gay shit. Thank you.
I know you do. So anyway, I think it's important today to remember that we didn't ask why are those people so stupid. We asked a harder question, which is what does it take to choose the grift over the truth? Why do they always choose the con man over an objective truth? And we found that it requires two things, a vulnerability and a flaw, right? A moral flaw and a moral vulnerability. One is human, the other is a moral failure in individuals and in the systems that manufacture resentment for harvest. Don't be harvested, please. The Rubicon is not behind us. It's a delta, and we're somewhere in the middle of it. The question is whether we can go back. I think we can. It's whether enough people choose the hard work of solidarity over the easier comfort of the con. That's always been the question, and it's louder than ever. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I think you're amazing. They are stupid, bro. They are stupid, bro. Yes, it's coming. Judgment Day is coming. Trump is much below Jesus. Trump is at 56%, it looks like. Jesus Christ is at 44%.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you are a channel member, Sky City Rebels, please join us. It'll be for all members today because I didn't do that as many. I did so many long streams. I didn't do as many exclusive streams today. So white belts are going to be in this one. I feel bad for leaving you guys out. No liberals in here, smart guy. That's right. That's right. Let's see. It's still at 53%, Chip.
Damn.
Golden Dome for president. Perfect. Who is Keezus? Don't worry about it. Just some guy. All right. It's ending. Yes, it's ending. MAGA worship Trump, even though they know for a fact he is a child molester. That's right.
Yep.
Sky has me willing Jesus to...
Damn, it's 50-50 now, Sky.
You voted for Jesus. I was white belt at the beginning of the stream, but not anymore. Thank you, Positrack. Why not? What happened, Positrack? Did Positrack cancel his membership? What happened?
No.
What happened, Positrack? All right. You voted for Jesus too. It looks like Jesus might have it. 52%. Jesus pulled it off. Jesus, the dark horse candidate, pulled it off at the last minute.
Damn it. Some people do love Democrats. Or liberals.
People just
Jesus
hate
was
Donald
liberal.
Trump. Jesus was an anarchist. He was an anti-hierarchy guy. He hated hierarchy. First will be last. Last will be first. Are you kidding me?
Yes, he was very far left.
Extremely far left. He was an anti-state dissident who was killed by the government.
Jesus was on the left side, everyone. Remember that.
A very, very far left.
Let's move to the other one because I gotta go beat.
All right, fine. It's over. All right, bye, everybody. It ended in the middle of a stream. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. This is it. Chip has to pee. We're gonna start the new stream right now so that we can talk about why Chip loves gay shit and why he can't stop masturbating. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Gay shit.
Too gay shit. Why not? All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Illegitimate non-carbon. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Godspeed, rebels. And stay under.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.